What's up, dudes? Mr. CoolEck here. Hey, Mr. Eck asked me to sit in today because we are learning something that I'm kind of an expert at, and that's throwing shade. Like as in shading our artwork. So I'm going to be teaching you how to shade your artwork today, and you guys are going to be drawing along with me. First thing we're going to do is take some shapes, and we're going to add some shade to it to make them into form, because form is just 3D shapes. So we're going to start off drawing 3 basic shapes, then we're going to do some shading, and all of a sudden it's going to look like form. Now this is called implied form because real form is like sculptures, something you can actually turn in your hand and look at all the sides. So this is still going to be a drawing, so it's implied form, but we're going to be adding 3D likeness to our shapes.
Alright, so let's start off with a circle. So first off, you got to draw a circle, of course. Next, we got to think about what happens to a ball when the light hits it. So if the light's coming in this way, it'd have like a circle of brightness right here. I'm going to draw that very lightly because we want it to be softened up later. That means everything around that spot is going to slowly get darker, and darkest on this side, away from the light. So when you're shading, you want to use the side of your lead, and you're really holding the whole pencil sideways, and you just go back and forth very, very lightly. You always want to start light because you can always go back and add more, but it's harder to take away shading. I'm going to go all the way around on the opposite side of where the light is hitting this ball. I'm going to go some different directions. And we're going to bring it up a little bit closer. So I have like 2 layers of shading away from the ball and 1 layer away from the ball of light, and then 1 layer of shading that's a little bit closer. And then I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to smear it. You don't have to smear it, you can leave the lines, but if we're trying to make it look soft and realistic, then smearing is a pretty good idea. And then you take your eraser and brighten up that bright spot a little bit. That looks pretty nice. And then, if you want to make it look really 3D, you add a little oval underneath like that. And I hope you guys are drawing along with me. If you need to pause this video, go back, try again, no worries. Shading takes practice. You're not going to nail it the first time, man. Alright, I like it. Alright, let's move on. Let's do a box next. So a box is, of course, a square. We don't want to be squares, man. We got to turn this into a box. So first thing you got to do is make it look 3D. So to do that, you need 3 lines that are all diagonal the same direction, like that. See how they're all the same diagonal? And then you just do a straight line from this line to this line. And then a straight one down. Boom, you got a box. So let's say we got our light coming in from this direction. So the top would be very, very bright because the light would be bouncing off of that. This side would be very dark because the light is not hitting that at all. And this side would be about half and half. So I'm going to go ahead and shade in my darker area first. I'm going to go over it one more time, make it nice and dark. But look, I'm still going pretty lightly. I'm just doing layers of light shading because, like I said, it's always easier to add more shading rather than take it away. So that already looks pretty good by itself. And then we're going to add some more shading down from here. I'm just going to shade like the bottom part of this box. Maybe come up a little bit on the side. Then we take the finger and smear that shading And that includes this area over here where it's nice and dark. Clean it up with your pencil eraser, and that looks really sharp. The shadow of the box is a little bit more tricky than the oval underneath the ball. So the shadow goes away from the light source. So whichever way your light source is coming in, you do 2 diagonal lines away, and then you're just going to follow the shape of the box. So the top of the box goes across, and then it goes up. See over here? And we just shade that in. Throw in the shade. And it'd be a little bit darker closer to the box, so I'm going to do another layer of shading right close to the box to make that part of the shadow even darker. Then I'm going to soften that up by smearing it with my finger again. Alright, I like it. Clean it up with my eraser. Alright, there's one more shape I wanted to show you guys how to make 3D, and that is a cone shape. So to start with a cone shape, you got to start with a triangle. And I'm going to make this one kind of tall because I'm running low on space on my sketchbook page here. It's going to be a very tall, skinny cone. And I'm going to draw this part very lightly because I'm going to erase it. But whereas this is usually straight, a cone would be curved. Alright. Very nice. So let's just keep the light coming the same direction. We got the light coming in here from the left. By the way, if I were drawing this like for a finished drawing, I would erase those arrows later, but this is just to remind me where my light's coming from. So on the cone, the shading would get wider at the bottom, just like the shape, and get skinnier at the top. It would of course be darker on the opposite side from the light. I'm going to start over here and shade on up. If you want to make something look rounded, just add some shading to both sides. It's like an easy way to make it rounded. And I'm going to do a little bit of shading on this side, just a little bit, to show that it's rounded on this side as well. Then you just smear it, and it gives it that soft, rounded quality. Cleaned it up with my eraser. You can go back over the brightest spot if you want to with that eraser. And then when it comes to the shadow, I think kind of a pointed oval would do just fine. The shadow is always darkest right beside the base of your shape. Just going to go over that one twice to make it extra dark before I smear it with my finger. I think that looks very nice. Alright, how's your drawing going? I hope you kept up with me, or at least if you didn't, you could always back up and then catch back up, which is the beauty of working with a video instructor.
Well, I think the shading worked really well. I think it looks totally sweet. I hope you guys enjoy adding shading to your drawings. And after you do these shapes, maybe you can try drawing whatever you want and then adding shading to it using the same ideas that we practiced here. This doesn't just work on basic shapes, man. This could work on anything. You could draw a person with shading on their face. You could draw a dog with shading on its body. You could draw a tomato. Tomatoes are cool, man. Anyway, it was great being here with you guys. I hope you enjoyed learning about shading, and I will see you guys next time.